This clip is going to show us how to cut scrabs and miters on the skating board rig.
Before you start the task, please make sure you have all your tools and equipment ready before you start. The first one we are going to fit is the easiest one. At one end is a straight cut and at the other end is an angled cut. Use your set square to mark out all the lines around your skating board, trying to make sure they are all connected. With your miter box, cut your first cut. Try to get it as accurately as possible. Don't worry if it isn't, as the skating will cover over it. Offer it up into position to see if you get a good fit. The internal scrab is the next one. First, we have to cut this on a 45 to reveal the profile in which we follow. Mark the profile to follow and use this as a guide. There's a couple of ways of doing this. This is just one way. Clamp the skating into the miter box and with a tenon saw cut straight down your line, but remember to keep it back cut. Using a coping saw, cope the joint, follow the edge really carefully and also remember to back cut it. Back cutting means that the front will be touching and there will be a small gap on the back. If you look careful, you can still see my pencil line. Lightly rub these lines out, because if we don't, when they go together, it will look like a gap. The next one is the external miter joint. Offer the skating into place and mark the back of the skating board, transferring your lines round using a combination square and sliding bevel. As you can see, we always try to cut on the waste side of the line. We then cut down the 45 cut. And now for the opposite 45-degree cut, again with your mitre box, gently cut down, being careful not for the saw to wander. As you can see, it's a good fit. Now to work out the angles for our sliding bevel, we have to bisect the angle first. To do this, we project the pencil lines like shown on the video, and with a straight edge we can bisect them. This will give us an angle to then set the sliding bevel to. Set the bevel to the angle and then transfer these lines onto a mitre block, being really carefully to cut down the line. The first cut on this scribe joint is to reveal the profile that we must follow. I am now going to mark on the line which I will then follow. Place it back in the mitre box and then remember to back cut, then follow the profile. I am using a tenon saw on this cut as it keeps a straight cut, but if the mould was a curved one I would have used a coping saw. I need to remove all this area, being very carefully. As you can see, our pencil lines, if we don't take them off, they look like a gap when they're butting against the skating. So take a little bit off. I am now temporarily fixing these into place so they don't move when I take the next marks off for the next joint. As you can see, I've left the nails proud as this will make it easier when I strip the rig down. To do the external mitre, we have to project our lines through again. We bisect the lines, then set our sliding bevel to them. Again, take it to the miter box and cut a new angle for this joint. Transfer the line up at the back of the skating and then round to the front. Again, being really careful, cut down the line and be careful not for the saw to wander off. We now need to cut the second part of the external miter. Cut down the skating board in the miter box and check that the joint is acceptable.
What I'm going to do now is show you how we're going to retain the ends of this piece and this piece. Because in high class joinery we never show end grain.
To retain this end, we first cut down the skating board on a 45-degree cut vertically, as shown in the picture. I have clamped it in the workbench, this is to stop it moving. Here I have already cut the opposite 45-degree cut, and all remains now for me is to do a straight cut.
This is the piece we want, not this. This is the piece.
You have to be very careful as these pieces are fragile. On the other end of the rig we cut the piece at 45 again, but this time across the face. Next, get a small piece and temporarily mark the angle it should be. The angle should be 45. The skating board rig isn't easy, it takes time and a little patience, but eventually you will get there.